I still can't believe I'm writing this. 3 days after burying my husband, I found out someone stole $890,000 from us. Not some stranger, someone I trusted with my life. My name's Dorothy. I'm 28 years old, and up until 2 weeks ago, I thought I understood how the world worked. Good people got rewarded, bad people got caught. Love was real. Family meant something. I was wrong about all of it. Let me back up. Jake was my husband. We met in college, one of those stupid romantic stories where he spilled coffee on my laptop in the library and spent the next 3 hours helping me recover my thesis. We got married at 24. Young, yeah, but it felt right. He worked in finance, made good money, always talked about building something that would last. A real future, you know? We had plans. Kids, a bigger house, growing old together. All those dreams people have when they think they've got time. Then he fell down the stairs at his office building. Just fell. 1 minute he was alive, texting me about dinner. The next, I was at the hospital watching doctors tell me there was nothing they could do. Internal bleeding, brain trauma. He died before I could say goodbye. The funeral was a blur. I remember my sister Vanessa holding me while I sobbed. She was so good to me during those awful days. Handled the guests, organized the flowers, made sure I ate something. When you're drowning in grief, you don't question that kind of help. You're just grateful someone's keeping you from going under completely. She kept saying I needed rest, kept pushing these little white pills at me. Just something to help you sleep, Dottie. And I took them because I couldn't stand being awake, couldn't stand the empty bed, the silent house, the way his coffee mug was still in the sink from that last morning. 3 days after we buried him, I finally dragged myself to the bank. Had to deal with accounts, figure out how to pay for everything. The funeral alone cost $18,000. Jake had life insurance through work, enough to cover things while I figured out what came next. That's when the floor dropped out. The bank manager's face went weird when I asked about the life insurance payout. This uncomfortable tightness around her mouth. She pulled up the account and went very, very still. Mrs. Morrison, the beneficiary payout was processed yesterday morning. My brain felt stuffed with cotton. The pills Vanessa gave me made everything fuzzy. Okay, so it's in our joint account? No. She turned the screen toward me. It was paid to this account. Do you recognize the number? I didn't. The account meant nothing to me. $890,000 sitting in some account I'd never heard of. My hands started shaking. There's a mistake. That's Jake's life insurance. It should have come to me. She pulled up more documents. Her face got tighter. The beneficiary was changed 2 weeks ago. There's a notarized signature here. Yours. I stared at that signature. It looked like mine. The loops, the slant, the way the I curled at the end. But I never signed anything. I'd been home 2 weeks ago, remember the day clearly. Jake made pancakes. We watched some stupid reality show. He went to work. Normal Tuesday. No insurance papers. I didn't sign this. My voice came out wrong, too high. I never changed any beneficiary. Jake's insurance was supposed to come to me automatically. We set it up when he started the job. The manager shifted in her seat. Mrs. Morrison, I understand you're upset, but this signature was notarized. There's documentation. I'm telling you I didn't sign it. The room felt too small suddenly. Someone forged my signature. Someone stole that money. She gave me this look. Pitying, uncomfortable. These are serious accusations. If you believe fraud occurred, you'll need to file a police report. I left the bank shaking so hard I could barely drive. Got home and tore through Jake's office, looking for the insurance paperwork, the original beneficiary forms, anything. His desk was weirdly clean, no files. His laptop was there, but completely wiped. Just a blank login screen. All our financial documents, gone. I'm not stupid. I knew what this meant. Someone planned this. Someone knew Jake was going to die. My stomach turned to ice. I called Vanessa. She came over within 20 minutes, all concern and gentle hands. Dottie, sweetie, what's wrong? You sounded panicked on the phone. I told her everything. The insurance, the forged signature, The missing documents. I watched her face carefully while I talked. She looked horrified, perfectly, beautifully horrified. Oh my God, Dorothy, who would do this? We need to call the police right now. Something else, I said slowly. My brain felt like it was wading through mud, but something nagged at me. The police report from Jake's fall. Where's our copy? Vanessa blinked. What? Why does that matter right now? I never saw it. After the accident. Did you get a copy? Dorothy, you were sedated. You couldn't handle any of that. I dealt with the police for you, remember? I did remember. Vanessa talking to officers while I sat on the couch, numb and useless. Vanessa signing things. Vanessa handling everything. I need to see it now. She looked uncomfortable for the first time. I'll get you a copy, okay? But right now, we need to focus on this insurance thing. This is more important. They're both important. I stood up, swaying a little. Those pills made everything blurry. Vanessa, where were you when Jake fell? Her face changed, just a flicker, so fast I almost missed it. What kind of question is that? A simple one. She paused. I was running errands. Dorothy, why are you asking me this? You think I had something to do with… No, I pressed my hands to my face. I don't know what I think. Someone stole almost $1 million from us. Jake's dead. Nothing makes sense. She pulled me into a hug. Her perfume was too strong, made my head hurt worse. We'll figure this out, okay? We'll get your money back, but you need to rest now. You're not thinking clearly. Here, take one of these. Another white pill. I looked at it in her palm. Something in my gut twisted. Wrong. This felt wrong, but I was so tired, so confused, and she was my sister, my big sister who'd always protected me. I took the pill. That night, I couldn't sleep despite the medication. Kept replaying everything. The timing bothered me. Beneficiary changed 2 weeks before Jake died. Documents disappeared. His laptop wiped, almost like someone knew what was coming. I pulled out my phone, started searching for the police report online, public records, found it around 3 a.m. Officer's notes made my blood freeze. Witness statement from Vanessa Chen, victim's sister-in-law. Was present at building visiting victim before fall. States victim appeared intoxicated, unsteady. Witness left approximately 2:45 p.m. Victim's fall occurred at 3:12 p.m. per building security. Vanessa was there, right before Jake fell. And she never told me. Jake didn't drink during work hours, ever. He was obsessive about it, not even wine at business lunches. Something about his dad being an alcoholic, wanting to be nothing like him. I read the report 3 times, 4. Each time, my chest got tighter. My phone buzzed. Text from Vanessa. Can't sleep either. Thinking of you. Love you, sis. I stared at those words until they stopped looking like words at all. The next morning, an insurance investigator showed up at my door. Detective type, thin glasses, carrying a briefcase that looked expensive. Mrs. Morrison, I'm Richard Chen with Apex Life Insurance. I need to ask you some questions about your husband's policy. I let him in, poured coffee I couldn't drink. He sat at my kitchen table, Jake's chair where Jake would never sit again, and pulled out documents. Walk me through the beneficiary change for me. When did you decide to redirect the payout? I didn't. My voice came out steady. Good. I never changed anything. That's not my signature. He looked at me over his glasses. Mrs. Morrison, forgery is a serious crime. If you're filing a false claim, I'm not filing anything false. Someone forged my name and stole that money. The notary confirmed your identification, driver's license. Then someone used a fake ID. He made a note. You understand how this looks. Your husband dies in what's ruled an accidental fall. Days later, you claim someone forged your name to steal his life insurance. It's a convenient story. My hands clenched around my coffee mug. You think I killed my husband for money I don't even have? I think inconsistencies need investigation. He pulled out more papers. Did you keep a journal, Mrs. Morrison? What? No. Why? Your sister provided us with some concerning entries, dated over the past 6 months. He slid photocopied pages across the table. Do these look familiar? I picked them up. My handwriting, my journal, the one I kept in my nightstand drawer. Private thoughts, things I'd never show anyone. Except these pages weren't mine. The handwriting looked right, but the words... Jake's insurance would solve everything. Sometimes I wonder if life would be easier alone. The money could give me a fresh start. I never wrote this, never thought it. These words made me sound like I was planning murder. Where did you get these? Your sister found them while helping clean your house. She was very distressed, felt obligated to share them. These aren't real. Someone wrote these to frame me. He stood up, closing his briefcase. Mrs. Morrison, I strongly suggest you retain legal counsel. This investigation is ongoing. Don't leave the state. After he left, I called Vanessa. She answered on the first ring. You gave them my journal? Silence. Then, softly, Dorothy, I found those pages and I panicked. They sounded so... I thought maybe the grief was worse than we realized, that you needed help. Real help. Those aren't my words. They're in your handwriting, in your journal. Someone planted them. More silence. When she spoke again, her voice had this careful, therapeutic quality. Sweetie, I know you're under incredible stress, but these conspiracy theories, they're not healthy. Maybe you need to see someone, a therapist, someone who can help you process. Jake told me he was updating his will. 3 days before he died. Did you know that? I heard her breathing change. No. Why would I know that? You were with him that day, at his office, right before he fell. I already explained that to the police. I dropped off some papers for him. He seemed drunk, Dorothy. I was worried, but he told me to leave. I should have stayed. I should have... Jake didn't drink during work. Well, he did that day. The police confirmed it. They found alcohol in his system. My vision blurred. You're lying. Dorothy! Her voice went cold, sharp, then caught itself, went soft again. You're not well. The grief, the stress, these accusations. I think you need to be hospitalized. Just for a few days. Get stabilized. Stay away from me. I hung up. My phone rang immediately. Jake's mother. I answered. Dorothy, Vanessa just called me. She's very concerned about you. Mom, listen to me. No, you listen. I know you're grieving. We all are. But these accusations against Vanessa? She's been nothing but supportive. She loved Jake like a brother. She was there when he died. She forged my signature. She stole... Enough! Jake's mom's voice cracked. My son is dead. And now you're trying to destroy this family with your paranoid fantasies? Vanessa showed me that journal, those awful things you wrote about wanting Jake dead, about the insurance money. I never wrote that. I saw your handwriting. It's fake. Mom, please, you have to believe me. I don't believe you anymore, Dorothy. Stay away from this family. If you contact Vanessa again, I'm calling the police. She hung up. I sat there holding my dead phone, watching my life disintegrate in real time. The next day, my bank accounts were frozen. Court order, pending investigation into insurance fraud. My credit cards stopped working. Jake's death benefits, the joint savings account, everything locked down while they investigated me for killing my own husband. I couldn't afford the mortgage, couldn't buy groceries, couldn't pay the lawyer I desperately needed. The eviction notice came Tuesday. 48 hours to vacate the premises or be forcibly removed. I packed what I could fit in my car, left behind the home Jake and I built together, the kitchen where he made pancakes, the bed where we'd planned our future. Vanessa called as I was loading the last box. Dottie, Mom told me what happened with the house. God, I'm so sorry. Listen, if you need a place to stay... Don't. My voice sounded like it belonged to someone else, someone hollow. Don't pretend to care. I do care. You're my sister. You're sick right now, but we can get you help. There are facilities. I'm not sick. Then why are you doing this? Why are you tearing apart everyone who loves you? Jake's gone. Nothing will bring him back. But we're still here. Your family. We want to help you. I looked at the house one last time. Our house. Mine and Jake's. You already helped enough. I hung up and drove away. That night, I slept in my car in a Walmart parking lot, used the bathroom at a gas station to brush my teeth, felt my life shrinking down to a single question that echoed in my skull. How does someone steal your entire life while everyone watches and believes you're the monster? The library became my office. Free Wi-Fi, warm building, bathrooms where I could wash my face and pretend I wasn't homeless. I spent every day on those public computers, digging through records, searching for anything that could prove what Vanessa did. My back ached from sleeping in the car. My clothes smelled stale. Other patrons avoided eye contact, that special way people look through homeless women like we're ghosts haunting the edges of normal life. Meanwhile, Vanessa thrived. She threw a memorial service for Jake at their church. Huge turnout. I watched from across the street, too afraid to go inside. Saw her crying in the doorway, accepting condolences, playing the grieving sister-in-law with perfect devastation. Local news covered it. Community rallies around family after tragic loss. There was Vanessa on camera, mascara running, voice breaking. Jake was like a brother to me. I just want to honor his memory despite everything that's happened, despite the accusations and the pain. That's what Jake would want. Forgiveness, healing. She was good. So, so good. She visited Jake's grave every single day. I know because I watched from a distance, hiding behind trees like some stalker. She brought fresh flowers, knelt at the headstone for 20 minutes. Sometimes she'd cry, real tears streaming down her face, shoulders shaking. I almost believed her myself. She started a charity in Jake's name, the Jake Morrison Foundation for Financial Literacy. Raised $30,000 in 2 weeks, posted about it constantly on social media. Pictures of her organizing donation drives, speaking at community centers, hugging grateful families. Everyone loved her, and everyone hated me. The restraining order came next. Vanessa filed it claiming I'd threatened her, showed up at her house screaming, sent violent text messages. She had screenshots, messages from my number saying horrible things, threats, promises to hurt her. I never sent those texts. But there they were, time-stamped and documented. The judge granted the order immediately. 500 feet minimum distance. No contact, direct or indirect. I was officially the villain. I kept digging anyway, had nothing left to lose. That's when I found something. Jake had a physical therapist, hurt his back playing basketball 6 months ago, went to rehab twice a week. I tracked down the clinic, asked to speak with his therapist. The receptionist's face went weird when I mentioned Jake's name. I'm sorry, but Sarah doesn't work here anymore. She left about 3 weeks ago. Do you have contact information for her? We can't give that out, but... Look, I probably shouldn't say this, but Sarah quit really suddenly. Right after your husband passed. Didn't even finish her shift, just walked out. My pulse jumped. Did she seem upset? She seemed terrified. I found Sarah's address through the state licensing board, drove to her apartment in the middle of the day, knocked on her door until she answered. She opened the door 2 inches, chain still attached. I can't talk to you. Please, just 5 minutes. My husband died and someone stole... I know what happened. Everyone knows. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying, or not sleeping. I can't help you. Did you know my sister Vanessa? Sarah's face went white. The door started to close. I shoved my foot in the gap. Please, please, she did something, didn't she? She was friendly with you, got close to you. Get away from me. She had access to Jake's schedule through you. She knew when he'd be alone, when he'd be vulnerable. Stop. Sarah was shaking now. Just stop. I don't know anything. I never met your sister. I barely knew your husband. Leave me alone. You're scared of her. I'm scared of you. You're harassing me. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police. She slammed the door. I heard multiple locks clicking into place. But I'd seen her face, the terror there. Sarah knew something, and Vanessa had gotten to her first. I went back to the library, searched everything I could find about Jake's last day. The police report said accidental fall, possibly alcohol-related. But the report was thin, almost deliberately vague. Jake had told me he was updating his will. 3 days before he died, said he had a meeting with his lawyer that Thursday. I searched for the lawyer's name in Jake's emails. Took me hours, but I found it. Martin Kowalski, estate attorney, office downtown. I drove there the next morning. The building was burned. Black shell, yellow caution tape, insurance assessors picking through rubble. I asked a worker what happened. Electrical fire. Started around midnight, 8 days ago. Whole second floor went up. Lucky the building was empty. 8 days ago, 3 days after Jake died. All of Martin Kowalski's records. Gone. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I drove back to my parking lot. This wasn't coincidence. This was someone erasing evidence, covering tracks. Someone who knew exactly what they were doing. The insurance company called that afternoon. The investigator's voice was clipped, professional. Mrs. Morrison, we're moving forward with fraud charges. We have substantial evidence that you forged beneficiary documents and may have been involved in your husband's death. The district attorney has been notified. I didn't do anything. Save it for your lawyer, which, given your financial situation, will probably be a public defender. Good luck with that. He hung up. That night, I got served with another lawsuit, civil suit. Vanessa was suing me for emotional distress and defamation, claiming my false accusations had damaged her reputation, caused severe psychological harm. She was asking for $200,000. I laughed until I cried. Sitting in my car in a dark parking lot, lawsuit papers scattered across my lap. She'd taken everything already. What else could she possibly want? Then I understood. She wanted me destroyed, not just broke, not just homeless, completely annihilated. So broken that no one would ever believe a word I said. It was working, but I couldn't stop. Wouldn't stop. I went back to Jake's office building, talked to the superintendent, showed him Jake's picture. Do you remember this man? He fell down the stairs 3 weeks ago. The super's face changed. Yeah, I remember. Terrible thing. Did you see anyone with him that day? He hesitated, looked around like checking if anyone was listening. There was a woman. Came in about 20 minutes before it happened. Asian woman, petite, dark hair. I noticed because she seemed nervous, kept checking her phone. My heart hammered. Did you tell the police this? Yeah, I told them. They wrote it down but said it didn't matter since the guy was drunk. Accidental fall. Did the woman match this description? I pulled up Vanessa's Facebook profile on my phone. He looked at the photo, nodded slowly. Could be her, hard to say for sure. But the height's right, the hair, yeah. Would you testify to that? In court? Testify? He backed up a step. Lady, I don't want trouble, I just work here. Please. My husband is dead and someone killed him. You saw her. You can prove. I saw a woman who looked kinda like that 3 weeks ago for 30 seconds. That's not proof of nothing. But it's something. It's a start. He shook his head. I got a family, bills to pay, can't afford to get involved in some murder case. I left my number anyway. Begged him to call if he changed his mind. He called that night. Miss, I can't help you. I'm sorry, but I got a call after you left. Woman said if I talk to you again, I'll lose my job. Said she's got friends on the building's management board. Who called you? Didn't give a name, but she knew my full name, my home address, where my kids go to school. His voice cracked. I got daughters. I can't risk this. I'm sorry about your husband, but I got to protect my own family. He hung up before I could respond. I sat in the dark library parking lot after hours, watching the security lights flicker. Vanessa wasn't just smart. She was meticulous, covering every single angle, silencing witnesses, destroying evidence, framing me so perfectly that even Jake's own mother believed I was the killer, and I had nothing, no money, no home, no proof, no one who believed me. The truth was buried under a mountain of perfect lies. When the truth is buried under perfect lies, how do you prove you're not the villain? I decided to play defeated. It went against every instinct. Every cell in my body screamed to keep fighting, keep pushing, keep digging. But Vanessa was winning because she was smarter than me, more prepared, better funded. So I stopped fighting. I called her from a burner phone I bought with the last $20 in my pocket. Vanessa, it's me. Long silence. Dorothy, are you okay? Where are you? I let my voice break. Not hard, wasn't acting anymore. I'm in bad shape, really bad. I've been living in my car. I can't afford food. Everyone hates me. Oh, sweetie. Her voice dripped sympathy. I've been so worried. We all have. I think maybe everyone's right. Maybe I'm not thinking clearly. The grief, the stress, maybe I'm losing it. It's okay. It's okay to admit that. It takes courage. I closed my eyes, swallowed bile. I'm sorry for everything I said, for accusing you. You've been nothing but good to me, and I repaid you with paranoid conspiracy theories. I'm so sorry. I forgive you. She said it immediately, too quickly. Of course I forgive you. You're my sister. You're sick, but we can get you help. I want help. I need help. That's so good to hear. Let me make some calls. I know a facility, really good place. They specialize in grief counseling and mental health support. We can get you admitted today. Thank you. I made myself cry. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do. Family takes care of family. We talked for 20 more minutes. I played broken and grateful. She played concerned and forgiving. We were both lying perfectly. After I hung up, I threw up in the parking lot. Felt dirty all over, contaminated. But it worked. Over the next week, I kept up the act, called Vanessa regularly from monitored phones, library line, payphone, borrowed cell from the shelter where I sometimes ate dinner. Every call was submissive, apologetic, accepting her version of reality. You're right, I wasn't thinking clearly. I need professional help. Thank you for not giving up on me. She recorded everything. I could tell by the tiny echo on the line, the way she'd repeat key phrases back to me, building her case, documenting my recovery and her compassion. She posted about it too, vague books on social media. Sometimes loving someone means holding space for their healing journey, even when they've hurt you, especially then. The comments were predictable. You're so strong. What a forgiving soul. Your sister is lucky to have you. I watched it all from library computers, watched Vanessa's saint status grow while mine disintegrated further. And I waited, because while Vanessa was busy performing compassion, I hired someone, private investigator named Peter. Old guy, retired cop, worked out of his apartment and charged rates I couldn't afford. I explained I had no money, no credibility, nothing to offer. He listened to everything, every detail, then said, "Your sister's running a long con, professional grade. I'll take the case. I can't pay you. You'll pay me after we win, out of your insurance settlement. If we lose, I eat the cost. That's the deal." Why would you do that? He lit a cigarette, blew smoke at his water-stained ceiling. Because I hate when guilty people walk, and your sister's guilty as hell. Peter went to work. He didn't tell me everything he was doing, said it was safer that way. But over the next 3 weeks, pieces started falling into place. Jake's former colleague, guy named Marcus, who worked in the same building, reached out through Peter, wanted to meet, scared but willing to talk. We met at a diner 30 miles outside the city. Marcus looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. Jake told me something 2 weeks before he died. We were having lunch, and he seemed stressed. Asked if I'd noticed anything weird with his accounts. My pulse jumped. Weird how? Small amounts going missing. Few hundred here, 1,000 there. Nothing huge but consistent. He'd been tracking it for months. Thought maybe someone had access to his passwords. Did he say who? No, but he mentioned his sister-in-law had been around a lot, helping with some paperwork after his back injury. He said it casually, like he didn't want to accuse her, but something felt off. Would you testify to that? Marcus's face went gray. That's the thing. I want to help. I do. But the day after Jake died, someone broke into my car. Stole. Nothing. Just left photos on my front seat. Photos of what? My kids, at school, playing on the playground, time-stamped from that same day. His hands shook around his coffee cup. Whoever did this wanted me to know they could get to my family whenever they wanted. My blood turned to ice. Did you report it? I did. Police said it was probably random vandalism. No evidence of break-in. Photos could have been taken by anyone. They basically implied I was paranoid. But you know what it was. Yeah, I know. He met my eyes. I can't testify. I'm sorry. I've got 3 kids under 10. I can't risk it. I understood. Hated it. But understood. Peter kept digging. He found something in the courthouse public records. The medical examiner's preliminary notes on Jake's death. Not the final report. That was sealed pending investigation. But the preliminary notes were public, filed before anyone knew to hide them. Bruising pattern inconsistent with simple forward fall. Contusions on chest and upper arms suggest external force. Victim may have been pushed backward. May have been pushed. Not accidental, not alcohol-related stumble. Murder. I read those words 50 times, memorized them, clutched them like proof of my sanity. Then Marcus called Peter's phone, panicked. Someone sent photos to his work email, his kids' school schedule, daily routines, drop-off times, pickup times, which playground they used at recess. Marcus recanted everything, sent Peter a formal email stating he'd been mistaken. Jake never mentioned anything suspicious, and he wouldn't speak about this matter again. Then he blocked both our numbers. Vanessa was closing ranks, silencing anyone who could help. But Peter wasn't done. He tracked Vanessa's spending, bank records, credit card statements, took some legally questionable methods, but he got them. Luxury handbags, designer clothes, weekend trips to Vegas, gambling debts to underground casinos, $340,000 in debt to very dangerous people. Payment deadline, 3 weeks before Jake's death. Current debt balance, 0. Paid in full 2 days after Jake's insurance payout cleared. She needed that money, Peter said, spreading the records across his desk. Not wanted, needed. These aren't loan sharks who take IOUs. These are people who break kneecaps and burn down houses. Can you prove she paid them with Jake's insurance? Working on it. Money's been laundered through shell companies, but we'll find the trail. I felt hope for the first time in weeks. Fragile, terrifying hope. Then Vanessa tried to kill herself. Overdose. Dramatic, messy, perfectly timed. She posted on social media first. Long, rambling message about how she couldn't take Dorothy's harassment anymore, how the false accusations were destroying her mental health, how she just wanted peace. Then she took pills. Her roommate found her and called 911. She survived, obviously. Spent 2 days in the hospital. Cameras everywhere. Local news covered it. Woman driven to suicide attempt by sister's harassment. I was arrested the next morning. Violation of the restraining order. Vanessa claimed I'd been following her, stalking her, leaving threatening notes on her car. She had photographs, receipts, a whole evidence file. None of it was real, but it looked real. I spent 36 hours in a cell. County lockup, orange jumpsuit, metal toilet, everything you see in movies, but worse. Smelled like bleach and despair. Peter bailed me out, used his own money. "This is it," he said as we drove away from the jail. "She's scared now, making mistakes. The suicide attempt was theatrical. Too perfect. Doesn't matter. Everyone believes her." Not everyone. We drove in silence. My hands still smelled like jail soap. Everything hurt. Peter pulled up to a storage unit on the edge of town, unlocked it. Inside was a box labeled with Jake's name and a law firm I didn't recognize. "What is this?" "Your husband was smart, smarter than Vanessa gave him credit for." Peter opened the box. He filed a new will 3 days before he died. Different lawyer, different city, completely separate from the one whose office burned down. I pulled out the documents with shaking hands. Last will and testament of Jacob Morrison, dated 3 days before his death. Everything. House, accounts, insurance, investments, left to me, Dorothy Morrison, his wife. And there was a letter, handwritten, Jake's familiar script. "Dorothy, if you're reading this, something happened to me. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is just paranoia and I'm wasting paper. But I need you to know what I suspect. Vanessa has access to things she shouldn't. I started noticing money missing 6 months ago. Small amounts. Then I realized she had copies of our house keys, copies of passwords I'd only written down once. I confronted her 2 weeks ago. She denied everything, acted hurt, turned it around on me. Classic gaslighting. But I know what I saw. I've installed hidden cameras in our house and my office. Everything backs up to a secure server. If anything happens to me, look at Vanessa's finances. Follow the money. I love you. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I wanted to be sure before I worried you. If I'm wrong about all this, throw this letter away and forget about it. If I'm right, I'm so sorry. Jake. The paper shook in my hands. Jake knew. He knew, and he tried to protect us. The cameras, I whispered. Are they still working? Peter smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Oh, yes, and you're going to love what they caught. He pulled out a laptop, played the footage. Jake's office, 3 weeks ago. Timestamp, 2:47 p.m. Vanessa entered, looked around, checked for cameras, missed the one hidden in the bookshelf. She approached Jake at his desk. He stood up, surprised to see her. They talked. No audio, but the body language was clear. He was uncomfortable. She was insistent. Then it happened. Jake moved toward the door. Vanessa blocked him. They argued. Jake turned away from her, heading for the stairs. She shoved him, both hands on his back. Hard. He stumbled forward, tried to catch himself on the railing, missed, fell. Vanessa stood at the top of the stairs, looking down, checking if anyone saw. Then she carefully descended, checking the stairwell for cameras, pulled out her phone, probably calling 911, playing concerned witness. She staged it perfectly, except for the camera she didn't know existed. I watched it 3 times, watched my sister murder my husband, watched her push him downstairs, watched her check the scene like a professional. We take this to the police now, Peter said. Along with the will, the financial records, everything. It's over. She's done. I couldn't speak, could barely breathe. Jake was right about everything, and he died trying to protect me from the truth. What happens when the monster finally realizes their victim has been recording everything? The emergency hearing was scheduled for the following Monday. Peter's lawyer friend pulled strings, expedited everything. We had evidence, real, undeniable evidence. The courtroom filled up fast. Media, Jake's family, curious onlookers who'd followed the case online. Everyone wanted to see the conclusion of this twisted family drama. Vanessa arrived in black, perfect makeup, just enough to look elegant but grief-stricken, tissues clutched in her hand. She spotted me across the courtroom, and her face did this thing, softened, sad, like looking at me broke her heart. God, she was good. Jake's mother was there, his brother. They sat on Vanessa's side. Nobody sat near me except Peter. The judge entered. Everyone rose. The formality felt surreal after weeks of living in my car and fighting for survival. Vanessa's lawyer spoke first, talked about harassment, mental illness, false accusations that had nearly destroyed an innocent woman's life, painted me as an unstable widow who couldn't accept her husband's accidental death. Then it was our turn. Peter's lawyer stood. Your Honor, we have new evidence that fundamentally changes this case. Evidence that shows Vanessa Chen orchestrated an elaborate fraud scheme and murdered Jacob Morrison for insurance money. Murmurs erupted. The judge banged his gavel. We'll start with Mr. Morrison's own words. The lawyer played Jake's video letter. The courtroom went silent. Jake appeared on screen, sitting at his desk, looking tired but determined. My name is Jacob Morrison. I'm recording this on October 15th because I believe my life may be in danger. If you're watching this, I was right. He explained everything. The missing money, the suspicious access, his confrontation with Vanessa, his decision to install hidden cameras and secure his assets. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is paranoid delusion, and in 5 years I'll be embarrassed about making this video. But if I'm not? Wrong. Dorothy, I love you. Find the truth. Make her pay. The video ended. Jake's mother was crying silently. His brother stared at the screen, face slack with shock. I watched Vanessa. Her expression flickered. Just for a second. Panic. Calculation. Then she recovered, tears streaming down her face. "That's edited," she said. "Deep fake. Dorothy's desperate. We have the original files," the lawyer interrupted. "Forensically verified, no tampering, but let's continue." They played the security footage next. The hallway outside Jake's office. Timestamp, date, everything documented. Vanessa entering at 2:47 p.m. Jake's fall at 3:12 p.m. Vanessa leaving at 3:35 p.m. Then the office camera. The angle that showed everything, the push, the fall, the calculated check of the stairs. Vanessa's face drained of color. She turned to her lawyer, whispered something frantic. He looked sick. "That's not," she started. "I was just trying to help him. He was stumbling. I reached out." "The forensic analysis shows deliberate force," the lawyer cut in. "Two-handed push, approximately 30 pounds of pressure. Mr. Morrison was not stumbling. He was walking away from you when you pushed him." The forensic accountant took the stand next, laid out Vanessa's financial situation, the gambling debts, the dangerous creditors, the payment deadline that perfectly aligned with Jake's death. Miss Chen owed $340,000 to unlicensed casinos operated by organized crime. These are not institutions that offer payment plans. 2 days after Mr. Morrison's insurance payout cleared, Miss Chen's debts were paid in full. "That's circumstantial," Vanessa's lawyer protested. "She could have gotten money anywhere." "We've traced the payments. Shell companies, yes. But the money came from the account that received Mr. Morrison's life insurance payout. The same account Miss Chen claimed to know nothing about." More evidence. The forged beneficiary documents. Handwriting analysis showing 9-point match to Vanessa's writing, not mine. The notary who'd been paid $5,000 to falsify documents. The superintendent who'd been threatened into silence but finally came forward after seeing the security footage. Jake's physical therapist, Sarah, appeared via video testimony. She was crying. "Vanessa befriended me 6 months ago. I thought she was just being nice, interested in Jake's recovery, but she asked detailed questions about his schedule, his appointments, when he'd be alone at the office. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Then, after Jake died, she called me, told me if I talked to Dorothy, my career would be destroyed. She had photos of me with a patient in a compromising position. Innocent photos, but taken out of context, they looked like misconduct. She threatened to report me to the licensing board." The medical examiner testified, explained the bruising pattern. "The injuries are consistent with being pushed backward. The hand marks on the chest and upper arms indicate someone shoved him. This was not an accidental fall." Jake's colleague Marcus took the stand, shaking, terrified, but there. "Jake told me someone was stealing from him. He suspected Vanessa but didn't want to accuse her without proof. 2 weeks before he died, he said he'd scheduled a meeting with a new lawyer to update his will. He was worried something might happen." The evidence piled up, hour after hour, each piece damning, each witness another nail in the coffin. I watched Jake's mother, watched the realization spread across her face. Horror, grief, betrayal. She looked at Vanessa, then at me, whispered, "Oh my God, what did you do?" Vanessa tried to hold it together, kept dabbing her eyes, shaking her head, playing the victim. But cracks showed. Her lawyer kept objecting, kept trying to poke holes, but there were no holes to poke. The judge called a recess. Vanessa stood up, started toward the exit. "Vanessa Chen," the judge said. "You'll remain in the courtroom. Bailiff, please ensure Miss Chen doesn't leave." Vanessa's eyes went wild. She looked around like a trapped animal, saw all the cameras, all the witnesses, all the evidence mounted against her. "No," she said. "No, you don't understand. I needed that money. He was going to cut me off. Dorothy didn't deserve him anyway. She never appreciated what she had. I did everything for Jake. I was there for him. I helped him, and he was just going to—" She stopped, hand over her mouth. Realizing what she'd just said, her lawyer grabbed her arm. "Don't say another word." But it was too late. The courtroom had heard her confession. The judge had heard it. Everyone had heard it. Vanessa crumpled, dropped into her chair, started crying, real crying this time. Ugly, desperate, terrified. "He was going to cut me off," she repeated. The will. He told me he was changing his will. Everything was going to Dorothy. I had debts, dangerous people. They would have killed me. I needed that money. I deserved that money. The bailiffs moved toward her. She tried to run, actually bolted for the door, but they caught her easily, dragged her back while she screamed. It should have been mine. I've been there for him for years. Dorothy never worked a day in her life. She didn't deserve $800,000 for doing nothing. I did everything. I earned it. They cuffed her, still screaming about deserving the money, about how unfair it was, how Jake should have left everything to her. The judge banged his gavel. Vanessa Chin, you're under arrest for the murder of Jacob Morrison, insurance fraud, forgery, and evidence tampering. Bail is denied. You'll be held pending trial. Vanessa looked at me as they dragged her away, pure hatred in her eyes. This is your fault, she spat. You did this. You destroyed me. I didn't respond, just watched her disappear through the courtroom doors, still screaming, still blaming everyone but herself. The accomplice came next. Vanessa's boyfriend, Richard. Turned out he'd helped stage the scene, moved Jake's body, wiped down surfaces. He flipped immediately, testified against her for a reduced sentence. 15 years instead of life. He took the deal. The insurance company issued a formal apology. Unfroze my accounts. Cut a check for the full $890,000 plus interest for wrongful withholding. The bank apologized. The police apologized. The investigator who'd accused me of murder sent a stiff, uncomfortable email saying, mistakes were made. Jake's mother came to me after the verdict. Couldn't look me in the eye. Dorothy, I don't know what to say. I believed her. I thought you were... I know what you thought. Can you ever forgive me? I looked at this woman who'd called me a murderer, who'd chosen Vanessa over me, who'd believed the worst possible things about her dead son's wife. Eventually, I said, maybe, but not today. She nodded, cried, left. Jake's brother stayed longer. I'm sorry, he said simply. I failed you. Failed Jake. If there's anything I can do, there isn't. Not right now. He accepted that, gave me his number, told me to call when I was ready. I might. Someday. 2 years later, Vanessa's in prison. 25 years for voluntary manslaughter, plus additional time for fraud and conspiracy. She'll be 55 when she gets out. If she gets out. She tried to appeal. Claimed she'd been coerced, that Jake was abusive, that she'd been protecting herself. The appeals court laughed it out of the room. Video evidence doesn't lie. I run the Jake Morrison Foundation now, full-time. We help families who've been wrongly accused of crimes, people caught in legal nightmares, victims of insurance fraud. Last year, we helped 18 families clear their names. I think Jake would be proud. The house is different now. I kept it, but changed everything. New furniture, new paint, new memories. The stairs where Jake used to practice his terrible dancing. The kitchen where we'd argued about whose turn it was to do dishes. I keep his video letter in my desk drawer. Watch it sometimes when I need to remember. Remember that Jake knew, that he tried to protect me. That love doesn't always save you, but it can point you toward the truth. Jake's family reconciled, slowly, awkwardly. His mother sent a public apology through the local newspaper. His brother comes to foundation events, helps with fundraising. We're rebuilding, brick by brick. I still have nightmares. Still wake up some nights back in that jail cell or sleeping in my car or watching Vanessa push Jake down those stairs. Probably always will. But I survived. More than survived. I won. Not because I was smarter than Vanessa. I wasn't. She had me beat at every turn, had everyone convinced I was the monster. I won because Jake was smarter than both of us, because he saw what was coming and left, breadcrumbs for me to follow, because he loved me enough to prepare for the worst, and because sometimes, rarely, the truth actually does come out, even when it's buried under perfect lies, even when everyone believes the monster instead of the victim, sometimes. If you're lucky and stubborn and you don't give up, the truth crawls its way back to the surface. I visit Jake's grave every week, bring coffee, The expensive kind he liked but never bought because he was always saving for our future. We got her, I tell him, every time. She's done. You can rest now. Sometimes I think I hear him laugh. That's probably just the wind, or grief playing tricks. But maybe not. When greed wears your sister's face, sometimes the only justice is watching that mask shatter in front of everyone she fooled. I got to watch that happen. Got to see Vanessa dragged out of that courtroom, still screaming about money she thought she deserved. And you know what? It felt good, vindictive, petty, sweet as honey. Justice isn't always noble. Sometimes it's just watching your abuser finally get what they deserve while you stand there, still breathing, still fighting, still here. I'm still here, and that's enough.